just don't know when to give up, do you?
I can do this all day. I could do this all day. I can do this all day.
Is this the end of Captain America and Chris Evans?
Well, that's not really up to me. You know, I mean, it's I have Avengers 3 and 4, and then the contract's up. So I mean, you know, if we'll see what happens. That's, you know, unfortunately, it's a long time away. Avengers 3 doesn't come out till next year, and then 4 doesn't come out till 2019. So I mean, if they were going to continue, it wouldn't be for quite some time. And like I said, that's not my call.
Hey everybody, it's Charlie. I could do this all day. So Chris Evans did this really big interview and everybody's been asking me to do a video for it because he implies that when his contract is up, he's gonna stop playing Captain America. He might leave. I'll explain what he actually said, because he certainly implies that he might be leaving, but that doesn't really tell you what might be happening to the actual character during these movies. So there's two things that are going on here. There's the concept of Chris Evans' future in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the future of the Captain America character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I haven't seen a lot of people talking about it, but I actually think that he's being a little sly with the press and with Marvel Studios, because remember, even though he works for Marvel, he's a free agent, meaning that he's up for contract renegotiation. So when he says that he might be done playing Captain America going forward after Avengers 4, that means a lot of different things. So if you're finding me for the first time, be sure to subscribe to get all the Marvel videos. There is a new round of that Infinity Gauntlet replica giveaway. All you have to do to enter that is just be a subscriber and leave a comment on the video. So Captain America, what's going on with Chris Evans and what's up with this giant super stash that he took from Henry Cavill? Seriously, I think I found out what happened to Henry Cavill's mustache after he shaved it the other day. Like, he just posted that Instagram video. I don't even recognize myself. It's like the Lich from Adventure Time. You keep defeating it, but somehow it keeps coming back. The reason for the stash is he's playing a police officer and a villain during a Broadway play after he's done with Avengers 4. So obviously you'll see him doing interviews for all this stuff. I don't know if he's going to do interviews while he has the mustache. That'll be kind of weird. But as part of this big article that the New York Times did, he talked about getting off the train before they push you off. So a lot of people are like, wait a minute, he's done with Captain America after Avengers 4? What does that mean for the character?
How many more of these?
The thing I actually think is going on is that his agents, as we speak, like while we're waiting for Infinity War to hit theaters, his agents are renegotiating his contract with Marvel, and he's using the press just a little bit to negotiate, which isn't totally underhanded. It's been done a lot before. Even studios will do it. So if you're not familiar with the idea of negotiating in the press, what'll happen is say like an actor needs to renegotiate their contract or they're in some sort of contractual dispute with a studio. One of them will go to the press, and the press will write a story that sort of demonizes the other party, so the public, like you, me, everybody else that's reading about this, will take sides. So say Chris Evans wanted to direct a movie during Marvel Phase 4 or Phase 5 or something like that, and maybe make a couple small cameos, but Marvel didn't want to let him do that. He might let the press know that, hey, you know, I'm kind of thinking that I might be done with Captain America. So the press writes a story that says Chris Evans is done playing Captain America, and all the Captain America fans all around the world get really pissed off at Marvel. So Chris Evans' agents can use that as leverage in their negotiations with Marvel to get whatever it is that they want. Now, Chris Evans isn't an underhanded person. He's actually a really good dude. So I don't think he would be really shaky, but there's always a level of this that goes on. The big studios will do the exact same thing when they fight with unions. Like, unions try to get better terms, better working hours, better money for their people. So they'll talk to the press and try to get their side of the story out that kind of demonizes the other party. So negotiating in the press is a very risky proposition. Sometimes it can backfire depending on how good your leverage is. So what I think Chris Evans is doing is that he's letting people know that he is kind of tired. But the rumor that I think has a little more credence is that he actually does want to direct a movie down the road, because he does direct a lot of movies. He does a lot of his own material when he's not doing these big Marvel movies.
You talked a little bit about directing, but tell me a little bit about the producing side, because now you're kind of responsible for a whole ton of stuff.
Well, it's tricky. You know, this is all a learning experience for me. I've never been a part of some of these discussions.
So he actually genuinely does like to work behind the camera. I think what he's trying to do is they're renegotiating for future appearances, either cameos or flashbacks, just more Chris Evans in some form in Phase 4 and Phase 5 in exchange for things like directing a movie down the road. So even though that doesn't tell you what the future of the Captain America character is in Phase 4, Phase 5, it does let you know that there might be more Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr. style, like popping up in other people's movies, even if there's no Captain America 4. They might still pass the title of Captain America on to Winter Soldier or Falcon or somebody else way down the line before Avengers 5. But even going back as far as Age of Ultron, Chris Evans has always talked about maybe leaving after his contract is done. Like, you just look at his body language in a lot of the interviews that he does, and it's just like, yeah, he definitely does not look like he wants to keep doing this for the next 10 years. So again, what I think will probably end up happening is they will find some terms for him to do cameos in future films, but for the most part, I don't think that he's going to come back and they're going to do 3 more Captain America sequels. There'll be more Captain America, but when we get to Captain America 4, it will be another character debuting as Captain America. So I've already done a couple videos about how I think that Winter Soldier is the best person to take the mantle. They've already hinted at it. Like, look at Sebastian Stan as far back as that first Captain America movie. How many times have they referenced that he was Captain America in the comics for a little while?
Nice save.
I gotta get me one of those.
Think about how much leverage that gives Kevin Feige. Like, people always try to argue from the studio side of things that these characters are bigger than the actors. Like, we could put somebody else in this title and they would totally eat it up because they love Marvel movies so much. There are a couple people within the Marvel Cinematic Universe that have started to overpower their characters. Robert Downey Jr. is the best example of that. There might be other people that fill his role, like Shuri is this tech wizard. She does a lot of the same things that Iron Man does, but even if she climbed into a suit of her own armor, she's not going to be the Iron Man character. Robert Downey Jr. will henceforth be known as Iron Man no matter what happens to the character in the next couple of movies. So early speculation, what happens is that Marvel read this New York Times article and they told Chris Evans, look, as long as you keep quiet about this while we're negotiating, we'll give you some of the things you want. They'll find some way to negotiate for some cameos down the line. Like, remember the cameos he had during Spider-Man Homecoming? Just really funny things. It wasn't even him in present day.
So, you got detention. You screwed up. You know what you did was wrong.
It was new footage shot if it was a flashback, and even that post-credit scene implied that he wasn't so sure if he was going to keep doing this.
How many more of these?
We haven't quite got to the point where we see a lot of Marvel movies set during the past, so I think we see more Captain America during Phase 4, Phase 5. It's probably no more than you saw Iron Man during Spider-Man Homecoming, regardless of whether or not the character dies during the next 2 Avengers films. He can always be brought back via the barf technology. There's actually supposed to be a barf scene that we actually saw the behind the scenes for a little while ago. The Russo brothers explained, oh, you saw a version of that during Civil War. So whatever it is that Iron Man's doing, he's using the barf technology to look at something from the original Avengers movie during the plot of Avengers 4, which is why Captain America is wearing his classic Avengers suit. Spider-Man, Winter Soldier, anybody could hook themselves up to the barf machine and magic Chris Evans up, and they would have to shoot new footage for that. So Chris Evans would have to come back, meaning that he would have to agree to a new contract. The narrative weight of him dying or Iron Man dying is just too good to ignore. Like, in order to make these movies feel real, you actually have to experience real loss. So I definitely think that Captain America and Iron Man are at the top of my death predictions list. So let me know in the comments, Iron Man and Captain America, what do you think is going to happen to them after Avengers 4? There are a whole bunch more Infinity War videos that I'm working on. Leave all your requests in the comments below, and I'll say congratulations to Manuel Abad. You're the giveaway winner from my last big video. Please private message me so I can get your contact details. Click here to rewatch the Deadpool trailer again, and click here for my Silver Surfer video. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.